What's going on? It is Friday night. Well, you're probably watching this Saturday morning because you're one of those dudes who makes your lineup last minute. I get it. At least you're still playing college football DFS. At least you get that part, because I'm telling you, you can slowly see people starting to fade away with all the new shiny toys like NBA and all of that nonsense. Get out of here. College football DFS is the best, especially at this time of year where we have more like actual data on how teams perform and who actually gets the ball. This is the best time of year to be playing. Not to mention we got like college football 6 nights a week now with Maction and all that. Bowl season is upon us. Conference championship games. What a great time to be doing college football DFS. I'm just telling you, just buckle in for the next 2 months. They're a blast. Probably the most profitable time of the year, too, as all the little slapdicks are like, man, I'm bored because I'm off work day. I'm going to go throw a lineup called football lineup. You don't want to do that, new guy. What's up, new guy? My name's James. I'm also known as Degenerate75. I'm a DFS content creator who's here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. If you don't know, this shit be tough, and I'm going to try to do it by not giving you picks and plays and all that nonsense, but I'm going to give you a little thing called the process and help you get better at it. If you find you like the cut of my jib, you check out that schedule right there. I do the show every Friday night. I also do NFL Monday and Thursday at noon, breaking down the showdown slate. Tuesday at noon with the week preview. And, of course, my live stream tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Saturday night, Lord's time zone. We'll be breaking down everything you need to know to get you ready for the main slate. And, of course, the big guy does PGA. And if you've not tried out PGA, you better come check it out in January. You won't regret it. You won't regret it, you motherfather. All right, let's get going. Before we do, I keep forgetting to say this. Please hit the like and subscribe. The only way college football DFS channels ever grow is with you guys liking, subscribing, watching, telling a friend. I appreciate every one of you that do it. It means a lot. You can see we're closing in hard on 5,000 subscribers. It would mean a lot if you help me get there. Appreciate every single one of you motherfathers. Contest selection this week. Look, they're starting to nerf it, right? DraftKings sees that people are being like, no. That's how all the people say they don't want to play college football this week. Look, they dropped it back down to 200,000 from 250, which kind of sucks balls because this is an awesome slate this week. I mean, this is the best slate we've had all year, bar none. I mean, bar none. This is the best slate. There's so many good games, so many great guys in positions to just go off. I'm telling you, to cash tomorrow, like even to min cash in a GBP, you're gonna have to be at like 225. I'm telling you, guys are going fucking nuclear tomorrow. So, here's what I'll tell you, what I always tell you, right? Getting good structured GPPs if you want to play in them. But as always, you know what I'm going to say, right? Go play head-to-heads. When you play head-to-heads, you have 2 ways of winning. You can, A, just build a nutted lineup that's going to beat anybody, or B, just play a fucking moron who builds a bad lineup, and you can still get there. And you want to know what is better than min-cashing in a GPP? Hitting all your head-to-heads. Playing 20 head-to-heads and sweeping them, you're going to feel just as good as winning a GPP. Plus, I have found emotionally, I'm a lot happier when I win $100 than when I lose 20. I know. Who would have ever thought? But it's a real thing, right? I'm telling you, try it out. Double ups, head-to-heads, 50-50s. It's where it's at. That's the biggest thing you could do in the process. I get wanting to play GPPs. I really do. So if you want to just sprinkle some GPPs, just go hop in my contest, you motherfather. Look at this. It's a $5 3 max. Flat payout structure, reduced rake. It is one of the better tournaments you can be in because you're paying less rake, and you are going to be in a contest where if you get 3rd or 4th place, it's not going to be like 1/5 of first, right? So check it out. The link is in the description of this video. Get it filled up. Only 150 spots this week because people are being slapdicks and don't want to enter it, or they're too much of pores to get in a $5 contest. Also, a big shout out to my winner from last week, Pan Fried Beats. What a freaking name. Congratulations to you, you motherfather. Appreciate you being in the contest. Get in there again. Defend your title. 216 points. Just bitch slapping people. So what that guy's doing. All right, as you know, I am getting more into the prop side. The props have been very good. We actually had our first, since I've been posting props, I've done it for 7 shows. Thursday Night Football was the first time we had a losing slate of prop picks. Last week at college football, we went 4 of 5, and one of those was a plus 200 straight up money line bet. I just straight up called that Stanford was going to beat Washington State straight up. Okay, so here are the prop bets. Once again, you don't have to use all of them. You don't have to use any of them. I think you should only use the ones that make the most sense to you, but I'm going to go over some ones that me and my team have put together that we think are good plus EV plays, assuming you can still find these numbers, right? Because these were numbers we found Friday afternoon. Jacob Cowling from Arizona. This Arizona offense is going to cook tomorrow. I mean cook. And Jacob Cowling is certainly one of the 2 top wide receivers there. And we have him projected at over 280 passing yards. He is almost certainly going to probably get 20 to 25% of that. If he does, that safely gets him over his 53.5 receiving yards. Love Jacob Cowling to get over that. Restrepo, over 53.5 receiving yards. Look, there's a very good chance Miami is going to be playing from behind. Restrepo is a guy that plays a lot from the slot, and slots have had success against Florida State this year. I think he's going to be in line for a massive amount of targets. I think 7 at the least, upwards of 10. He is a guy that gets those seam passes. He could literally get there in 2 catches in a script where they're going to be behind, with Restrepo, in my opinion, definitively being their best wide receiver option. Give me the over on his yards. The next one, Lab McConkey. If you watched last week, we were spanking the shit out of Lab McConkey's over. The guy, with Bowers out, Lab McConkey is their dude. He's that guy. He's him, right? Lovett is definitely the number 2, but Lab McConkey is still number 1. And I am telling you, Georgia is not just going to go boat race this week, okay? They're going to be in for a fight, and they're going to have to play some offense. And I cannot believe I'm saying this. Carson Beck's actually a pretty damn good quarterback, right? He's good, and he hits open receivers. And Lab McConkey, just like Cooper Kupp, you don't know why he's always open, but he is. So give me the over on 62.5. The next one, Xavier Worthy from Texas. If you haven't heard, the fraud Malik Murphy is getting benched because the quasi-fraud Quinn Ewers is back. Quinn Ewers is 10 times a better quarterback than Malik Murphy, and Xavier Worthy is one of the top 10 wide receivers in the country. So you give me 69, nice, and a half yards on his receiving. We know that Quinn Ewers prefers Worthy. Whenever Malik Murphy was in there, for whatever reason, he only throws the ball to Mitchell, but now Ewers is back. Worthy is going to get his. Texas is going to have to score to win this week. I promise you, TCU is going to put up more of a fight than you think. The next one is KJ Jefferson. Big old KJ Jefferson. Guy just looks like a freaking wildebeest out there. I still can remember that Alabama play where he just shucks the dude. Over 40.5 rushing yards. Look, Arkansas sucks. That's the facts. But KJ Jefferson does not. And what has really slowed down their offense this year is his inability, or not his inability, his lack of rushing. And surely they're starting to see this as you've seen an uptick in KJ Jefferson's rushing attempts. I think you're going to see him get over 40.5 rushing yards this week for Arkansas. And lastly, if you want a game to bet, the one that in my defense, this is somebody on my team, so if this one doesn't hit, you can't blame me, okay? Okay, minus 2.5. Arkansas over Auburn, right? I tried to say, look, if we're gonna take the 2.5, let's just money line bet it, but they wouldn't go for it. So Arkansas 2.5 over Auburn. Arkansas does seem to be trending. They do still have good players, and yes, I know they've sucked balls this year, but you only suck balls until you don't. All right, let's get over to it. Those are all my projections loaded right there. What is this thing that's called the Solver? It's the best optimizer out there. You want my projections, my ownership, because I'm the sweatiest tryhard you've ever met in your life, right? All of them loaded in there. Got everything you need. So anytime you're wanting to play college football DFS, I load my projections. I don't get it from somebody else. We make our own. You'll see it. Look, you can see right over here on the Rosetta Stone, everybody's projections, how we get them, right? How many yards we're giving to each guy, how many touchdowns, rushing yards, all of that, right? And you just put it into a projection. It's not fucking rocket science. But it's also not easy, and it takes a lot of time. So if you ever want to get those, I offer those. And you're thinking, man, I can't afford that fancy shit. You can get college football. Look at this. Single sport. You go right here. You're just into college football. You go right here to college football. Scroll down here. College football monthly. $25 a month. Not only does that get you the optimizer, which will build the best versions of your player pool, it will also come with my projections and my ownership already loaded in there. Highly encourage you to check it out. I'm not one of those guys who say our projections are better than everybody else, but I'll just say this. I've been using our projections and only our projections all year, and I'm doing very, very well, okay? It's not going to just tell you who to play, but it's going to get you the best versions of your player pool once you decide who to play. All right, let's get over to Zerezeta Stone. Here you go. This is the one for you two, okay? You poors, you get the black and white one. You want the fancy colored up one with all the projections and leverage and all that shit in there? Well, come over to my site, Dickie. But here is the one for the YouTube, right? It's still got some useful stuff on there. We still got snaps and stuff on there. Still going to talk about injuries and the 12-game main slate for DraftKings. But don't forget, we have the nighttime slate. We have the 2-game slate for tonight. We have FanDuel, everything you need over there, right? But this is just, we're going to talk about the main slate because that's what about 90% of people play. Let me get a swig from the clear bottle. Ooh. All right, first up is Georgia Tech at Clemson. Clemson with a Z. All right, Georgia Tech with a 21-point total is not bad, but the problem is Haynes King, who's actually been pretty decent this year, is just too damn pricey. There's no way you're paying $8,800 for Haynes King. Jamal Haynes has been pretty solid this year, right? If he was playing anybody but Clemson, I would probably be pretty warm to him, but let me just go ahead and tell you, this slate is stacked at running back. The most stacked running back slate I've seen all year, so don't get cute and play an asshole like Jamal Haynes and be like, I got a feeling. Okay, well, I got a feeling you're going to lose. And if you want a nice punt wide receiver, if you are running a Clemson stack, God bless your soul, I think that Singleton and Rutherford are pretty interesting run backs, right? Both guys that are getting over 6 targets a game if you want to get a little correlation with Clemson, right? Kate Klubnik down to 7,300. That's a preferred price. That's prefer, right? They got a 35-point total. You're telling me you can't see Kate Klubnik going for 30 points against a slapdick Georgia Tech team? Will Shipley is trending towards being back. We have him as probable, so we're putting him in there. So you're not going to see Phil Maffa getting 475 carries again this week, are you? I think they're both playable, but I'm telling you, once again, you'll see this slate is stacked at running back. I don't think you want to settle for guys that are going to be in 60-40 time splits. Antonio Williams continues to be out, so to me, that just continues to open up value for Bo Collins and Tyler Brown. Mr. High Hill's pretty solid too, Mr. Stiletto. But that's it for that game. There's just so many juicy games. Why spend our time on that asshole game? Speaking of juicy games, Texas Tech at Kansas, bro. Look at this total. First of all, we have over a 60-point total. We have a 4.5-point line. We have this checks every box you want to see, right? Competitive environment. Kansas is good at offense, doesn't play a lick of defense. This is great. Texas Tech plays fast. There's probably going to be on order of 170 plays run in this game. And even if you suck, you can accidentally score a bunch of fantasy points in 170 plays. Brian Morton is starting. He is back. We're gonna make the assumption that Tyler Show is going to continue to be out. Let me go put a line through him. Fuck that guy. There you go. You get a line, pal. Morton at 7,100 is more than acceptable for a team that is likely going to get 28 to probably 35 points. Taj Brooks, they're just going to run this guy into the ground. They finally did price him up to where he should be at 7,700. But if you want a guy that just has a massive workload, he's probably going to get, I would guess conservatively, 23 to 24 opportunities. That's targets and rushes together. You got to like him. And then good luck playing roulette with Texas Tech wide receivers. It could be Price, Bradley, White, Eakin, Dre McCray. It could be any of those guys. I don't know. Heading over to Kansas, Jason Bean, he's not that bad. They got a big total. He can run a little bit. He can actually run a lot. I don't know why they don't run him more. That guy runs like a freaking gazelle. He's a little pricey at 7,400, but to me the real play here is Devin Neal. He's just another one. Look, Devin Neal is a smash play on the slate, and he's still probably the sixth best running back on this slate. That's how deep this running back slate is, right? Devin Neal has been playing awesome. Kansas has a run-forward offense. Devin Neal definitely leads that. He's in about a 70-30 time split with Highshaw. Devin Neal's a badass. And once again, the problem with Kansas is trying to stack him. Good luck trying to figure out which one it's going to be. Arnold, Skinner, Fairchild, Grimm all get a slice of the pie. So trying to appropriately stack this game, not the most fun, Bob. Coming over here to Bama, Kentucky, a lower total, as you might expect. Two teams that play a little bit slower, run the ball quite a bit. I don't think you're going to see quite as many plays run in this game. But Jalen Milroe, if they're just going to let that guy run around, just run around, just truck stick people, it's like Derrick Henry if he played quarterback, right? Guy's pretty good when they just let him do that. But at 9,000, he's not cheap, and he doesn't offer a ton of upside in the passing game. He really has to get it done with his legs to ever pay off that $9,000 price tag. Jason McClellan is a guy that we see moving. He clearly has the leadership of this backfield now. But once again, this slate is so deep with good running backs. I'm just not playing Jason McClellan. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Okay, I can't do it. And then wide receiver, Jermaine Burton and Isaiah Bond have kind of emerged as the top two wide receivers for Alabama. But this Jam Miller, if you want to just jam a guy in at the min price, Jam Miller's a guy that seems to be getting more and more involved there. If you want just an icky motherfather 3K play, Jam Miller might be the jam you need. He might jam your Miller, pal. All right, Kentucky, Devin, I would be leery of playing him against Alabama, all right? Really, I think the only one you should be considering for Alabama is Ray Davis. But, do you really want to play a running back against Bama's defense? I'm just telling you, Ray Davis is good. He gets a ton of volume. He has a good running game. He gets all the work, and the Kentucky does have a good running game. But there is one small problem. They're playing Alabama. Okay, moving on. Michigan, Penn State, man, these Big Ten games on this slate, just put a big X through it, right? If you twisted my nuts in a vice and said you got to play somebody, I guess Blake Corum. Maybe Blake Corum goes for 180 and 3 touchdowns. Maybe he has like those big runs or something. But man, these offenses, they just spread it around too evenly, and everybody's priced up, right? Like I could get on board with a Roman Wilson or a Blake Corum or even a J.J. McCarthy, but they're also damn expensive. There's no way I'm playing them in what is likely to be a very slow, sloggy game, right? In college football DFS, we need two things. We need guys who get a lot of usage, because a lot of usage guarantees that floor that we need. But we also need guys in good scoring environments so they can go hit those 35, 40, 45-point games and just break the slate for you, right? And I don't think this game has any chance of doing that. That's my opinion, Bob. Maybe you think Penn State and Michigan are going to somehow turn into Washington and USC, but I doubt it. Moving on. Tulsa, Tulane, man, Tulsa, okay. I'm hearing that there's going to be a quarterback split in Tulsa, so we're kind of hedging our bets here. If you go look at my projections, Braxton and Francis are both a little bit, we're giving projections to both of them because the coach has said that he plans to get Francis in, but they have a 15-point total. Why even dick around with Tulsa? Just mark them off. Just put a big X through them and move the hell on. Tulane, on the other hand, Michael Pratt has pretty big projections, right? They have a big team total. He runs the ball a little bit. He passes. But to me, the best play for Tulane, and maybe one of the best plays on the slate, is Mekhi Hughes. If you don't have him, if you're not rotating him in your GPP pool or your cash lineup, I don't think you're doing it right. Mekhi Hughes has an incredible workload right now. He's getting all kinds of touches. They like to run the ball. They're a run-first team, and he's freaking efficient. He's good, right? And they're going to probably be in a script where he's going to be running a lot. This is one of those times I'm not getting cute. Mekhi Hughes is a guy you're probably going to want to give a lot of consideration to. But once again, he's not an auto lock because there's so many as good as he is. On any other slate, he'd be the best running back on the slate. He's probably the fourth best running back on this slate. I'm telling you, man. All right, let's get to the smash game. I love this game. You want the team that I'm putting my balls on the table and I'm saying just let's go all in on them, okay? Here it is. It's Arizona. Arizona's already been playing good offense, right? They're a good offense. Ever since Noah Fafita has taken over, they've been kind of badassery, right? And then you're playing Colorado, who outside of USC might have the worst defense in all of Power 5, okay? They are so Noah Fafita at 6,000, laughably underpriced. But points per dollar, without question, the best quarterback on this slate. And then their running back, Jonah Coleman, is probably going to have all the work to himself with Michael Wiley likely being out. And so if Coleman has this backfield all to himself at 4,300, he is, without question, the best price-adjusted player on this slate, right? I mean, I'm talking like his projections are going to be like 5x. That's his projections, right? At 4,300, he goes into any lineup. Now, you're going to get into this conundrum. Do you want to play Fafita and Coleman? And you're like, well, I could probably play them both, but here's the problem. They also have two badass receivers. Jacob Cowing and McMillan are just absolute smash plays. They get all kinds of targets. You see Cowing getting the 10 targets to McMillan's 8. You probably think Cowing's the better, but don't forget McMillan has a higher catch rate and a deeper depth of target. So even though he may get fewer targets, he gets more valuable targets. I think those guys are pretty much interchangeable. You can't go wrong with either of them. Cowing and McMillan are awesome. If you want an absolute punt, I don't even mind Tanner McLaughlin and Montana Leonius Craig. I'm telling you, Arizona's a smash team. It's so hard to build a cash lineup and not put 4 of these motherfathers in there because they're projecting through the roof, right? And for a little secret called Colorado fucking sucks. All right, moving on. Speaking of Colorado, they do have a good offense and an offense that will push this game, which will then just continue to push Arizona to score more points. We know who Shedeur Sanders is. He's a solid quarterback. They have a good pass-forward offense. He's probably going to get over 300 yards. He's probably going to throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. I don't even mind him in GPPs, especially as a run back against Arizona. As always, I just stay away from Colorado running backs. And at wide receiver, they still got the big 3. They got Weaver, Hunter, and Horn Jr. I think Weaver is definitely number 1. Hunter is definitely number 2. And Horn Jr. is definitely number 3. And if you want to punt, I guess Javon Antonio, but I can find better places to punt, Bob. Miami, Florida State. There is a chance Florida State is going to beat the doors off of Miami, but there is a chance it's a rivalry, and maybe Miami will play them tough, right? If you think Miami is going to play them tough, I think that value is largely going to be found in, trying to figure out their running back situation is as tough as figuring out OU's running back situation. You got to be a shaman, just a shaman who can see the future. But I think if you made me pick the running back, I'd go with Fletcher Jr. I have a feeling he's going to lead it. And at wide receiver, as I already said, Restrepo, I think is a guy he's getting 9 targets a game, right? If they're going to be competitive, it will be on the back of Restrepo. Florida State, on the other hand, it does appear, I am hearing that Coleman and Wilson are trending towards playing, and thank God, because if I have to play one more piece of shit punt wide receiver from Florida State that doesn't get there, I'll kick my own self in the nuts, okay? Which, by the way, Portier last week, who was in my cash line, I come to find out he got hurt in the first quarter, which tilted my balls a little less, but I was still tilted. Trey Benson, people are going to play him, but why? I mean, I get it. He has home run potential, but there's just such better running backs on the slate than him. Jordan Travis is always a home run potential, especially now that he's running the ball at a much higher rate. I think he offers a lot of upside. And if Miami can push Florida State, Travis is a guy that can get 35 or 40 points and pay off that price tag. Just get into another one of those absolutely delicious games that you need to just get in there and eat it all up. Oklahoma State and UCF. Alan Bowman is a solid quarterback at 6,900. Nice. But, I mean, Ollie Gordon is just a free square of free squares. I'm pretty sure he's going to break Barry Sanders' record. I'm exaggerating only a little bit. Only a little bit. Okay, the guy, I mean, until he stops getting 47 touches a game, you just keep paying the price tag. Ollie Gordon's a free square. I don't care what you say. Rashad Owens, in my opinion, is one of the best price-adjusted wide receivers on this slate. The guy's just an auto 10 target burger, right? They love running RPOs and throwing it out to his big tight end looking ass. Brendan Presley, a very solid option for big plays at 5,800. And Leon Johnson III, I think, is a very viable play if Jaden Bray is out. If Jaden Bray is back, I think that cuts in a lot to Leon Johnson III. But 2 weeks in a row, Leon Johnson, they love to just chunk the ball deep to this mother father, okay? So if Jaden Bray is out, I think Leon Johnson becomes a really interesting punt to consider in GPPs. UCF, John Rise Plumlee, what a stupid name, is back. He seems to be running the ball more. They have a big total. They're at home. This checks a lot of boxes. And let me just tell you the best part. Oklahoma State don't play any defense. I mean, they don't play a lick of defense, okay? So Plumlee is a very, very viable cash option, and he's very, very viable at GPPs. Harvey, just another one of these absolute smash running backs. He definitely leads this backfield. He's on the field about 75% of the time. He gets almost 20 touches every game guaranteed. And oh yeah, he's playing shitty-ass Oklahoma State in a shootout type environment. And if this game shoots out, he gets there rushing, he gets there pass catching, he does everything. At wide receiver, the big news to me is what's going to happen with Xavier Townsend, right? If Xavier Townsend is out, I think that Gerard Baker, not Javon Baker, there's two J Bakers, Gerard Baker could be a nice pump play if you're looking to somebody to stick with Plumlee, right? Yes, of course, Hudson and Baker are the two most obvious ones, but if you need a third, if Xavier Townsend's out, check out Gerard Baker. Not freaking Javon, Gerard, the $3,300 one, Dickie. Utah and Washington, we know what Washington is. They have an incredible offense. Michael Penix can throw the rock, okay? And he has great wide receivers. Ondunze, Polk, and hell, even Bernard, I think, is pretty playable with McMillan, like, whatever. I think McMillan's just going to continue to be out. Dylan Johnson's a solid running back play, but once again, the running backs on this slate are just too good to be playing that. And Michael Penix at 10,800, as much as I like him and as good as he's been to us, it's just hard to eat that price tag. 10,800 on DraftKings is so expensive, especially when you're playing Utah's defense, and Utah does have a little pride and plays a little defense. For Utah, Jaquindon Jackson is straight up questionable. If he's out, I think you're going to see Jalen Glover take over a little bit of that. Maybe they'll bring back, what was that, Savaki or whatever his name was. Maybe he'll get back in there. But honestly, I'm just avoiding Utah's offense. They only have a 21-point total. Don't love it. They're just so inefficient. They're so slow. I'm out. But a game that they could sneaky shoot out right here, Tennessee at Missouri. These are two teams that have offenses that have guys who hit home runs. Starting out with Tennessee, Joe Milton. I'm not a big Joe Milton guy, but in GPPs, I think you got to be warm to him. Plus, he's very easy to stack because basically he only throws the ball to Squirrel White and Ramel Keaton. That's basically all he throws it to. At running back, I think you got to watch what happens with Jabari Small. If Jabari Small is out, I think Samson gets a nice boost, but I still think I would just stick with Jalen Wright. But if I haven't already said this 57 times, why play cute running backs on this slate when you have guys who are just in smash positions? For Missouri, Brady Cook is actually a pretty damn good quarterback. The guy scores fantasy points. Cody Schrader is a good running back. He's on the field all the time. But what really everything comes down to me for Missouri is Luther Burden going to play? He is straight up questionable. If Luther Burden plays, I think he is the one wide receiver you just make sure you get in your lineup. If he is going to be limited or if he is out, obviously we don't want to play him. That gives a really big boost to Theo Weiss Jr. and Mookie Cooper, as I think they will move to the number 1 and number 2 wide receivers. So this is just another one of those days where there are some really big players with some really big injury news that could sway who we want to play. Minnesota and Purdue. I mean, first of all, I can't believe a Big Ten game has a total over 45. What is this? Big Ten West or whatever? Here's who you should play in this game. You should literally give consideration to one person. Jordan Newman. Hey, Newman, the running back. He's $4,000 from Minnesota, and he has the backfield all to himself. If you do price-adjusted best plays, him and Coleman are just light years ahead of everybody. He is a absolute smash play if he continues to get the volume of work he's having, right? The only thing is we have to watch for Darius Taylor. If Darius Taylor's back, that will almost certainly cut into it. But if Darius Taylor's out, there's nobody left. It's just Jordan Newman doing Jordan Newman the whole game. And at $4,000, you're getting basically a $7,200 running back at $4,000. So if Darius Taylor's out, Jordan Newman is a smash play. A guy that you would have to give a strong consideration. You'd have to just be dumb to not even consider him. For Purdue, Hudson Card's I just think he's a fraud. Any quarterback who's ever played for Texas is a fraud. Let's face the facts. I'm not playing anybody from Purdue. There you go. And then lastly, just another super juicy game to end on here. Washington State, they've been playing like crap, but man, when they score, they score. Cam Ward is a guy who can play awesome. He has 3 awesome receivers. Lincoln Victor is probably the leader of that group. Kyle Williams, Josh Kelly, all great options in GPPs. I think Victor would probably be the one I'd lean on the most in cash. And then Cal, my boy Fernando Mendoza already got me there cash once this year. The guy's good. I'm telling you, Mendoza's good. I know he's against USC's defense, but Washington State ain't got much of a defense either, Bob. Jaden Otten, just an absolute, this guy is so good and he gets so many touches. If you don't have him mixed into your GPP pool, the guy could legit go for 50 points tomorrow. Him and Ollie Gordon, if they get 50 points tomorrow, I'll be like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right, yeah. So you've got to be Mendoza, you've got to be considering. And then if you wanted a wide receiver from Cal for a little correlation play, I think that Jeremiah Hunter has clearly established himself as the number 1 wide receiver there. I just don't always trust Cal's passing game because they do like to spread the rock around, and Mendoza gets a little bit done with his legs too. So give me some Mendoza, man. Give me a little bit of this game, right? And that's it, guys. This is the 12-game slate for tomorrow. I will be breaking all this down on my Discord tomorrow at 10 a.m. with a live stream, so come check that out. If you want to know how to do that, you just go right over here to Degen75.com. If my screen ever loads, and you can see we have college football, we have PGA, we have NFL, and soon to have NASCAR. We're even doing prop picks. We have a whole bunch of winners because it's never about me. It's about all. Look at all those people flying the flag, winning all these different amounts: $22,000 and $100 and $1,500 and $12,000 and $20, $62, $75, $250, $30. $30 to somebody could be $20,000 to somebody else. It's not everybody plays the same amount. So we have all kinds of guys hitting all kinds of hits depending on their bankroll. And as long as you're hitting and you're having fun, that's all that matters. Yeah, we got guys hitting 10,000, 5,000, 4,000, 17,000. That's awesome. Pumped for those guys. But I also want to celebrate all my guys hitting 400, 500, 50, 75. Those numbers are awesome too. If it gets you excited, it gets me excited, you motherfather, because DFS should be fun. Ain't none of you motherfathers ever going to become pros at it. And lastly, I have the best tool out there, the Rosetta Stone. This is the one from last week. You can see we do everything you need for every single game. I encourage you to come check it out. If you want to try it out, but you don't want to sign up, just go sign up for my newsletter, and we'll let you have a free week on the site. Then your ass will just sign up anyways, right? So there you go. It has been real. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll talk to you later. Enjoy this outro, you motherfather.